Hello, it's welcome to the, what are we? We're in November. We are in the November Business Boost and excited to just continue on the 2018 planning work that we were doing at the last mastermind meeting. And so as we are digging into this, I'm going to just where we ended last time was we were at the 2017 year-end declarations. And we moved into this space of where are your leads coming from for the next 90 days. And so let me just unmute you guys on this part here. Were you guys able to work on this 90-day plan and then the 12-month plan? You guys are unmuted
Not
now.
yet.
Not yet. Okay. So this will be good. And I just sent you an updated booklet as well, because I remember last time when we did the when we were doing the mastermind meeting, there was one page that was missing out of the slide deck that was not in the workbook, but the one that I just sent you, you've got it all together. So you've got all of December really to work on this. And in full disclosure, I have not done these for myself as well, or at least I haven't done it for the 12 months. So this will be something that you guys can dig into over the next month and share and really dig around in that. Today, where we are going to go is we're gonna keep moving through this. So just to back up, these were the things that we were working on. So we started with SOAR. We did the wild success. What wild success look like for you? And you guys have space and time to really journal on that in this next month. And your big why you want to be expansive. And then you went through a year in review, and these were the metrics that you were going to go back and look at your metrics and start digging into that and really create a year-end business dashboard. And then what does this mean for your business? What stands out in the dashboard that's there? So then we start talking about building it from the inside out and really getting into this desire that you want to create in your business. What will be up-leveled in your business in 2018? What's going to shift and change? Those kinds of questions you want to really be asking yourself. And what kind of projects do you want to really be thinking about? I know for myself, I've actually got some new ideas on some things that I'm super excited about. And so use space, make space to get really innovative and creative and start thinking about what are those new projects. I mean, this is how my podcast got birthed last year. It was like, what do I want to come forth in this next year? And so really make space to dream about that. And then we talked about time management and CEO. Actually, I don't know that we talked about CEO days. So I'm going to pause here for a moment. And how many CEO days per month? And I'm going to open your lines back up. Open your lines back up. And how many CEO days are you each doing right now? Paula?
What's a CEO day?
Ooh, that's a great question. So the CEO day is where you get to work on your business and not in your business, right? So very often we are in this space of taking care of our clients, doing all the administrative things that we need to make happen, managing all the to-dos that's working in your business, right? But when you're working on your business, you're really getting up in a strategic level. You're setting aside time to really be clear about what it is you want to be making happen. You can be very strategic. You can turn off all the noise that's happening around you. Anything you want to add to that, Sarah?
No, I think for me, it's about the strategy and that bigger, okay, where am I headed? What's my intuition feeling, and really checking out of the task level or tactical level and really making sure that you're, bringing you to the table and that you're just giving yourself the chance to ponder and be curious and say, what else is there that needs to be done that I'm not doing, and just getting creative and play.
Yes.
Okay.
So how many days do you do on a month with something kind of a focus?
Well, how many do I, or how many did I, or
Yes, exactly.
how many do I want to?
Exactly. Of all of the above, right?
Well, I was doing maybe back in the spring, I was doing maybe once a month.
Okay,
once
good.
a week.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, but then that fell through, and I probably haven't done one. It just keeps getting pushed away. I'm sure that everybody can relate to that. So I haven't really done one like that for months.
Okay.
So there you go.
Okay. How about you, Casey?
Wow. So, my new business is brand new, and I'm approaching it because of this group much differently. So I'm doing a lot more strategic thinking. Traditionally, though, in my business, I've probably done like one day a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
So this is just opportunity, right? And now that you're in the space of building a new business, you're going to actually probably be spending a lot of CEO time on deciding what that business is going to look like before you actually get into the working in your business. So you're going to have to make space for that. How about you?
Yeah, absolutely.
How about you, Ashara?
Well, I'm going to guess that I've maybe done one a quarter.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. I'm not much of a strategizer.
Well, and what I would suggest, and if I had I might be able to do this. Let me do this real quick. You look at my calendar. This is what I've got today. Can you guys see that?
Looks like email.
You're seeing email, or are you?
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today and tomorrow is CEO days. Now I do have a couple things in here, but for the most part, I've got 2 days. And if you look at my calendar in any given month, I am generally blocking off 2 days a month. Now, do I always? I've put some things in here, and that's okay. But it's get good at putting it on your calendar. I'm a big believer on that one. So, get clear how many you want to be doing in 2018. This is a good time to be thinking about it, and put it on your calendar. So it's a great opportunity that's there for you. So.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
And I like to do them on Fridays just because, or on Mondays, like to start the week fresh. And so as you're thinking about how many you want to have, in a given quarter or month or week or whatever the right frequency is, think about that. Like what just feels good? Like, do you want a midweek kind of time, or just what feels naturally creative and juicy and fun? And that's kind of why I love Fridays, but think about that.
Yeah, I would totally agree. Tune into that inner knowing and when you're most on. When's your best creativity going to happen?
Right. You might even do it around new moon or full moon, or think about that too.
Right. Exactly.
Tune in to whatever feels right. Mm-hmm. But the main thing is, and what I love that this space is creating today is you're assessing and saying, okay, well, this is what I've been doing. And then you're saying, okay, what feels like what would be in alignment for me and my business? Because I know, and based on what you guys have already shared, is well, what I'm doing probably isn't enough, right? So what's that action that you want to take in 18? Well, you're going to do more, and then you can start figuring out what does that look like. So kudos to everybody for being aware and saying, okay, I want to do more, because it'll totally pay in spades, right? That inside out approach, that every time we take that pause to slow down and look at it from, the CEO perspective versus the task perspective, things always up level. So there you go.
Absolutely. And this was a quote that I shared with you guys earlier this month. It's your schedule should be what you want it to become, not what you want to get done. And so, really tune into that energy that you want to be living into, that flow that you want to be living into, the lifestyle that you want to create in your business, and be jotting that down as you are building out your plan for this next year. So with that, this is where we ended last time, as we ended up with these the 2017 year-end declarations, and giving you guys the homework to go do this, where your lead's coming from. And this one you should be doing. You should really get this one down now. I mean, you should always be working. I mean, I have my whiteboard is here, and I always am looking 3 months out, just in general. That's just a way that, you can be thinking of what's coming down the pipeline. It's like, I know what my Extraordinary Women Connect Gala is. I know, different webinars I'm going to be running, my Emerging Expert Academy that all of you are invited to participate in. If you haven't seen that, you guys all get to participate in it at no cost. Woohoo! Yeah, and so it's, it's where are those leads coming from, and be very cognizant of that. And then you can start putting your milestones in now for the whole next year. So you've got that in your workbook. So where I want you to, this is where we're going to really dig into as we do the rest of our time together today, is really getting into how much money do you want to make this year. And so go ahead. I think I mentioned, I think it was on page 8 of the workbook. I don't have the workbook in front of me right now, but jot down how much money you made this year, or you think you'll close out at this year, and what would you like that revenue to look like next year. So just take a moment and jot that down. And what we're going to get into here is really charging what you're worth, getting really, really clear about what it is that you the value that you bring to the table. And we're going to show you some tools that you can start doing the math behind your plan for 2018. And it starts by looking at your packaging. It starts by looking at your pricing. Getting really, really clear about how much you want to be earning per hour, that sort of thing. And so we've got a handy dandy little tool that we've developed that will walk you through on this. Anything that you want to add to that, Sarah, just to charge what you're worth? Because I think it's really important. I mean, I think that, we often have this hesitation, right?
Yeah, this is the funnest conversation of all time, right? It's like, okay, here, I know that I bring massive value and I could tell you about it all day, but then how do I associate that with the actual number? And, I think that there's a mindset piece that goes along with this. And if you're feeling that shift to say, oh, I'm not getting what I know I should be, then you know that it's time to increase your rate. And, before you ever put the dollars around it, then you better have done the time in your journal. Right. And that mindset around, I am so, like, I could do a 50% increase and people would still love to throw money at me. Right. So just know that it's not just knowing the number, it's about having that mindset to go with it.
And really put some thought behind the value that you are delivering to your clients. So I want you to think of one of your clients this past year that's made significant changes. And Casey, you can think about it from somebody who's going to be one of your clients in the future, and their health is going to change, right? What is that worth to them? So, Paula, think about one of your clients that's done just amazing things this year because of the work that you've done with them. And Ashara, the same thing. What is that worth for that big shift to take place? When I start thinking about, some of my clients that I've helped, and I know Sarah's the same way, it's like when you see perhaps a path that somebody was on and they make a complete life change shift, right? And start doing something that they're so passionate about and building their businesses. And there's so much, what is that worth to somebody, right? That's the value that you want to be getting to. And what I'm going to be showing you is a way to get out of this hourly time frame that we often fall into as entrepreneurs, is pricing everything at an hourly rate. And so this is where we're going to take this. And let's just jump in here. So what I like to have happen, and I think this is going to apply for just about everybody in the group, is having a platform of products. And you're going to have a free offer where you can bring people in that they're getting free content, you know, so like, let's just use Gay and Gail for an example, because this is a great example for them as they're creating a whole suite of content to bring people into their new website. Casey, this is going to work really well for you. As coaches, this works beautifully. This is a really nice model where you have this free tool, you're getting them in, it can be a quiz, it can be a white paper, it can be an audit, it can be, Paula, your workshop that's next week. You know, there's all these different things that you're getting them interested in what you have to offer. And then the next level you're going to have is a low price offer. And keep in mind that these numbers are
Tammy, can I interrupt you for a second?
Oh, sure.
Sorry, is this in our material, this slide, yes, or this stuff you're talking about?
It is.
Is it in the workbook?
It's in the workbook, yes.
I didn't see this one, so yeah. Okay, great.
And the tool that I'm going to walk you through here in a minute is going to actually give you ways that you can go deeper in it. And know that these numbers are really relative. So a low price offer, this is $199 or under. You know, you guys are going to have to figure out what your spectrum looks like, but it gives you kind of something to work with. And this is going to be probably the low price offer is probably going to be a group environment. It's probably not going to be a lot of one-on-one focus time with you. Then you move into the purple box, the midpoint offer. So in this instance here, it's saying somewhere between $200 and $999. And they're getting just a little bit of one-on-one time with you, perhaps, or maybe none. But it's just getting more value that you're delivering. And then you've got your high price offer. And with that high price offer, they're getting the most access to you. So this is a way to start thinking about your different offer sets across the platform. And what you're going to want to be doing is start to think about what are all the free items that you can offer? What are the low price items that you can offer? What are the mid price items? And I like to start packaging things together. So I'll just pick Paula here for an example. Paula, you've got your Soul Speaks might fall into, you know, it probably falls in this mid-price item. Maybe it's here based on what your spectrum is. And you might add that Soul Speaks into your high price items so that you're just delivering more value. And you start to say, okay, you get this whole package of information or ways to work with me, and you get out of this hourly mindset by starting to put different pieces into it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Casey,
play with it more, but yeah.
Yeah, and this is something we can definitely spend more time on this year, because I think it's really. I would like to see how you guys start to build these, because they're the first time I built my offer set this way, and I know, Sarah, I think you were probably the same way, right? In fact, I just redid mine, and it's hard work. It's really, really hard work to go through and do this. But once you get it, it's like people are like, oh my God, I love this. It gives me options. I mean, I was just talking to a prospect yesterday, and she's like, I love that you're giving me options. And I can decide where I want to be. And, you know, and likely she's going to end up over here in this high price item because she wants more of me. And, you know, so this is how you can give people that low price offer that can get them in the door, and they can get a little bit of you, and they get to experience all the wonderful value that you bring. But if somebody's really wanting more of you, you can do this higher price packaging over here. So,
yeah, I think it would be great if we got to focus on that a little more, like you said, in the new year. I think it would be great to get a little more input and feedback about what these might look like.
Yeah, and I can share what mine looks like. Sarah can share what hers looks like, and
great, that'd be helpful.
Because it gives you some ideas to start building things off of. So.
Especially since you've got so many lovely offers that you've got, I think that your packages could be so rich. And even knowing, like, they might, be completely different. Like, I think when you bundle them all together, it can make so much sense, and like have a whole new thing that you didn't even know that like you could sell, that could be really powerful, based on your ideal client's urgent wants and needs. So anyway, I'm super excited to see what your packages look like and how we can help shape that.
Yeah, that would be really helpful, because that's an area we definitely want to develop. So
yes, so we'll definitely spend more time. And one of the ways you might start to map it, Paula, is to actually do it in a mind map. What are all the different pieces? So here's Paula's products, and then what are all the different pieces outside of that? And from your coaching to your counseling to all your different workshops to your corporate kind of things, and you start to say, okay, how might some of these pieces fit together in a more cohesive way? And I actually really love to do it with a mind map tool, where you can move things around and say, okay, this looks like a package and this looks like a package. So it's a great way to do it. But I want to keep going here, because I want to give you guys some tools. This is a tool. So this is what I sent you earlier, the Excel spreadsheet. And I want to let me get this water out of the way. I'll spill it. I want to show you how this tool works. So what you're going to see is that this document that I sent you has so there has the very first tab at the bottom has instructions on this. So basically everything that you see in a cell that is colored this blue color, and you guys can see this, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything that is colored in this blue color is something that you can adjust. And then everything else is already automatic, not manually, it's automatically calculated for you. What we're going to do here is we're going to determine what your time is worth. You're going to define your very first phase of products and just put some dollars in here so you can see how this works, and it gives you a way to work through this. And then you're going to create a revenue model that's really aligned to what your goals are to hitting that number. And then you're going to calculate the payments for your products with, so that you can get people buying with different with different discounts and that sort of thing. So I use, just for this, this example of $100,000 is up here. And you might just leave this top box alone and go down to this bottom one. So what happens here is you want to go in and look at this where it says target income in your spreadsheet. So pop up your spreadsheet and put in whatever number you want to put in there, right? So if you want $150,000, put that in there, because that blue field is a field that you can put something into. You got that?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then you're going to look at this column here, this target income, and this middle column here, and you're going to think about how many work weeks you want to work in a year. So do you want to work 50 weeks in the year? You can put that in. Or if you want to work 45 weeks in a year, you can put that in. So how many weeks do you want off, right? This is designing your lifestyle that you want to be living, right? And do you want to work a 40-hour work week? Do you want to work a 35-hour work week? Do you want to work a 50-hour work week? What does that look like there? You can put something in there. So you can change that. And you can see every time I change one of these blue boxes, it's changing numbers. And it's very common for entrepreneurs to have about 50% of your time is really needed for administrative, sales, marketing, management, all that sort of thing. Making your CEO days. So that's probably a pretty good number, unless you can convince me that your business is different. I would say both of these two numbers, these two 50%, are probably just about right for all of you. You know, and those of you who have had businesses for a while, you can go back and you can say, you can look at these numbers and you can really determine if that is the right number. But so I just built through this was that in any given week, based on these numbers, if somebody wanted to be earning $150,000 a year, they'd need to be bringing in about $3,300 per week. At a 40-hour work week, that would be $95 per hour. But then you have these uplifts that you have to change that to, right? It's like 50% of your time is going for admin, so that's going to double that. And then when you have this gross margin where you're only keeping about 50% of the money that you make because you have expenses in your business, that number actually goes up to $381 per hour. And so this is the amount of money that you should be targeting in your pricing models. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you can go over here to the next page, the number 2, or this 2, the platform or products. And you can start to say, okay, these are my 3 different levels of offerings. And you can say, you know, this is going to be $200 or this is going to be $900. You know, so you just start putting these numbers in and you can define what fits into these different offers. And then you can go over here and you can say, how many of those do I anticipate I'm going to sell? So you're stepping into this third model of revenue box. And you're going to say, you know, I'm going to sell 25 of these. I'm going to sell 10 of these. And I'm going to sell 50 of these. Well, there you go. That'd be really nice, right? So and this is going to add it up for you because you're just following through these blue boxes and all these numbers are carrying, so you can tell these numbers have carried forward that you just put in from that prior page. And then you can see what's the gap. So in this model, there's an $11,000 gap that you've got to figure out, okay, do I need to sell more of something? Do I need to change my pricing? Do I need to add? And you might, you know, if for those of you who have, you know, so for example, Paula, if you were doing some consulting here, so this is a corporate account, it may not be a package. You might say, I'm going to sell, I'm going to sell 5 of these in the next year. And so then again, that's how you break, you know, you make that difference up. And I don't think I'm going to go into this page today. This is a way that you can start really building your pricing models, and we'll come back to this and go through this and a lot deeper insights into this when we go through these packaging in greater details. But what this does give you is this gives you, these are the products that I really want to be selling in 2018. It starts to give you a revenue model that you can determine whether what you've got to offer today is going to help you reach that goal that you're looking for, or is there going to be a gap that you need to meet? And it's a great way for you to really get clear on your plan. Are you doing the math that gets you to where you really want to be? When you think about that big why and why you want to create that dollar amount of revenue for yourself, and, you know, go back to that initial question when you were doing that dreaming of what is it, the big why that you want to make this happen? Is it, you know, you're wanting to buy a new house? Are you wanting to have more time for vacation? You know, whatever that big why is, you're building a plan that actually helps you get there. Sarah, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think that it's important to have that, you know, the why with your money really, really not just based on like, here are all the things that I want, but because you know that you need that amount of money. Like, because a lot of people say, I want to make $100,000. I want to make 6 figures this year. But then you start asking, well, why? And it's like, well, because that's what most people would say would be really cool. That's like most people would say my business was successful, or that's what always been my goal. But they haven't really recognized, like, actually, I only need to make $74,000 this year to have all the things that I've listed here, right? And so it's like, I want you to feel really like you need that amount of money, and that's the right amount, not just because the number sounds good. Does that make sense?
Right. Tap into your own. I think it really makes sense, because it's like there is a lot of business coaches out there saying, okay, here's, the 6 figures or the 7 figures, or, while I believe that each and every one of you needs to be charging what you're worth, and, building a business that brings you what you want. Don't get caught up into the other people's projections on what success looks like. Define your own level of what success looks like for you. And,
that's right.
And, and then play with it, and, know that there's great opportunity that, maybe there's a whole new stream of revenue for you from a new product that you're launching, and that excitement that comes along with that. And if it's, just really tune into that. So I love that.
Yeah. And it's just always crazy. I know we say this every time we talk about money, but it's amazing how many entrepreneurs haven't done the math, and they don't know how many packages of X that they would need to sell in order to make that dream come true. And so, you can have had that thought in your mind all you want, but like, do the math, do the worksheet.
Yeah. And that's why we wanted to make this worksheet really easy. I mean, this is like so simple. It's like you just keep following the blue boxes, right? And it gives you so much to play with.
Right, and that's the thing, play with it. And then you do that gut check and say, yep, this is what I'm going to do, and then you make the decision and you rock and roll with it, right? And that you start making offers around those packages that you've built, and you don't, think about it again. Once you've decided that today it's good, then you just start selling it, and know that you can change this, but you've at least got some place that you've started for this next year.
Yes. And Casey, so, just thinking about because you've got a whole new suite of products, right, that you're going to be developing. And, so you can think about that service level of, okay, here's the free content, here's the pieces that they get, just a very basic amount of content. Mm-hmm. And then what's that up level piece look like, that higher value piece?
Right, yeah.
And it might be access to you, or it might be access to others. I mean, there's just, really play with that a little bit.
Okay, right.
Right, here's the self-guided versus I get support, or the numbers of times that they get the support. Like, is it how do they get it? Is it a group like, we talked about, or is it one-on-one? And, is there a Facebook group that goes with it, or is it, just during the sessions that they have connection to somebody? Or I think you can have so much fun with these packages.
And don't get too caught up right now and exactly in all of what's in a package. Kind of play with your price points that you want to be at, and then we can help you figure out what are the components that go into that help create that value.
Right. Yep. Okay.
And Paula, do you have any questions? Go ahead, Casey.
Oh, I was going to say, the workbook that you mentioned, I'm not sure, was that on the Facebook group, or where is that?
It was both in the email and the Facebook group, I thought.
Okay. That came today? The email today? Okay. And is that the mastermind handout?
Yep.
Okay, got it.
And that is the same one that you got at the mastermind meeting earlier this month. But it has that extra page in it. So.
Okay, great.
Cool.
All right. Yep, I got it.
And Paula, do you have any questions or comments or?
No. This is just a learning curve for me, because I know it is for a lot of people. I just don't I've been such a mom and pop shop, and I've done really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like writing with the other hand. So it's,
And the good news is you've got data, right? You've got data that you can go back and look at. And
yeah, I could. Yeah.
And where I would recommend you start is just start playing with what's this, what kind of price points would you like to be in? And start to, we can figure out the pieces that go in here. We can do that as we start really digging into that. But that if you go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go
So
ahead.
I would think that you would have, here's what my corporate packages are. So if you were going to go in and do something like, here's what my, one-day workshop is, here's what an ongoing engagement would look like, where I come and do a workshop and then you get some more time with me and then they've got that other thing, right? So as you think about the types of group that you serve, your packages might be linked to that. So here's the corporate person or the corporate package structure. Here's the coaching or the one-on-one types of services that I offer. And so, I mean, we could look at it in lots of different ways. And so I think one of the coolest things is just to come back and say, here what my packages, how I think they need to be bucketed right now. And then we can dig in with some questions after we kind of see where your gut's going. But here's how I at least see, here's how the stuff flows together. Right, so you get to Phil Speaks, you get some one-on-one time with me, you get to come to the other types of events, and then you get to have the XYZ other thing, because there's so much, right? Like, where do you see those natural groupings?
And this is just so you can see where something. And Casey, you've seen this, but you probably didn't see it because this wasn't developed when you joined us. But this is like basically if somebody's coming in to work just in the mastermind program, this is the mastermind with starting to add some private time with me, and they get an equine vision journey retreat with it. So you're building on it, right? So this gives you a model of that. And then, here's, so they get both the mastermind, and then they also get the private coaching. And then this group, the VIP group, gets this, and they get this, and then they get 12 private coaching sessions with me, and they also get some copywriting with Andrea Enright, and then they get a VIP half-day session with me. So it builds, right? And you're saying, okay, here's all the different things that I've put into this. And, look here, there's the membership to the Syzygy Circle. You've got the Daily Pony Ponderings. These are, what are some more value that I can bring to this? And each step along the way, they're adding more value. And then the most value in that kind of a, so it gives you a pathway to it.
Mm-hmm. Right. And you've got this is your business client package group, and then there's a one-on-one, like a what do you call it? Personal.
Right, exactly. So this is, you can see, this is my mastermind. I've got one just like this for my more of the your next chapter, people that are trying to figure out what they want to do, but it looks, it has a similar kind of format, but it's focused on something differently. And you could do the same thing, Paula, where you can start saying, okay, here's my corporate clients, as Sarah was saying, or here's my, my clients that are doing their deep soul work, right? Here's my clients that this is an interesting space for you to explore. Is you're already working with clients who want to be great speakers. Is there something there to kind of play with?
And what are your speaker packages? What are your I just want to be a badass package? What's your I want to be a total performer package? There's so many ways you add value. Mm-hmm. And then here's the you're gonna hire me because I'm an artist, right? Mm-hmm. So here's you get me for a couple of hours. Here's the They're so, I see that you have, 4 or 5 different offer pages.
Right. Right. Okay.
And you might start with just one on an area that you really want to put a lot of focus on, and know that the others can follow. Because the good news is once you do one of these, you've got the framework to go back and do others. You don't have to do them all at once.
Right.
Just pick the one that you really want to put focus on.
Right. Think about those packages where you have the most potential to make money, and where you just want to be doing that most amount of work, right? You build that one first. So if you want to be working, with more speakers, you build your speaker packages. If you want to work with just personal effectiveness, you do that one. Corporate, and go from there.
Okay.
What group do you want to be working with the most, do you think?
Well, Lizanne and I together, I don't know. I'll just throw it out and you can help me refine it. But yeah, corporate and conferences, those are, conference goers and corporate for Soul Speaks offerings.
Okay, so there's where you're going to really want to get clear about how Soul Speaks is going to help the corporate.
Yeah, we've done.
Good.
So as a
done a lot of that.
Would you do here's what a lunch and learn price would be, here's what a 3-session Soul Speaks offer would look like, and then here's what it would look like to work with us for a year.
And that might involve some private coaching with it, right? Because when you're doing corporate, when you're doing that training one, and you can add the private coaching in, it's really huge. It ups the value in a big way.
Right. And one of the things.
Can you just say those again, Sarah? You said just because they were right on. Like lunch and learn would be one.
Right. So a lunch and learn is one. The medium value might be 3 sessions or 3 Soul Speaks workshops, and then the big piece is a year-long engagement with monthly workshops and senior leadership team support.
Private coaching, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
The deal that I worked with the United States Meat Export Federation was at first it was just a workshop, and then I added some bonus coaching time with just the senior leadership team as a bonus to get them to buy. And then the next one was, here's how many. Then I'll replicate it and do 3 of these sessions, and then I'll add private coaching for everybody that was in the workshop. Mm-hmm. And not everybody wants private coaching, which is cool, but it's a little extra. So those that are super awesome and ready to bite, they can have some time with me. And then I'm working on another deal where I want it to be I get time with all the staff, but then I just want time with the senior leadership team too, and then some one-on-one time with the CEO.
Yeah.
Right, and so I'm getting to touch different layers all the time at varying hours of my time.
Right.
And then it just gives you more to deal with, and then you can come back and pitch a new program later, right? Because you're getting to talk to them all the time, which is beautiful. But it's here you can have me for, if it was just you were going to hire me to come and do a keynote or a workshop for a day, here's you go. You get me plus, and then me plus.
Mm-hmm.
Over a longer term. Mm-hmm. And you get a webinar as a maximizer where I'm going to come back in and just tell you what I told you when I was there in person. And then you're also going to get me sending you an email that reminds you of here were the 3 action items that I said from the session that were killer, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a custom workbook. I'm going to do a visual that you can put on your website that talks about the model that was so important to the workshop that I just facilitated. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the beauty of this is the added value that you're creating, right? When you start packaging things together with more value and more value and more value, your clients are getting an experience like this wonderful, really cool experience of you, and it just keeps getting maximized the more you're into this space over here, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Great. Cool.
And I love having the packages for corporate kind of work because you know generally what kind of offers you want to be doing and how long it takes for somebody to experience you and to have an impact. right? And so that way, instead of like, I have to do a custom proposal every damn time I have to work with a corporate group, you're like,
Yeah.
you're kind of the ranges, and then you can have a really good conversation, and then you can customize from those 3 areas, those 3 things that you already know. Then you go and play. That way you're not thinking about it every time I have to go from scratch. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, cool. I like this. I like it. Great questions, great conversation. And I know, a lot of people will get value out of this as they go back and listen to the recording of it. And so thank you guys for jumping on and being part of today. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving, and we will be missing you in December, but we are always on the Facebook group, so feel free to post something out there and just say, I need help with this. We are around, so it's not like we're gone away. We're here, and use this month as a space to really work on your workbook. Set up some time now for your CEO days in December so that you can really do this and share on the Facebook group, ask questions on the Facebook group. And if you're having those questions, chances are other people are having the same questions.
Right. Heck yes.
Thank you.
Thanks. This was great. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a great rest, y'all. See you soon.
Bye.
Hey, bye everybody.